What's up, Steelers Nation? Welcome back to the channel where we break down everything black and gold. Now, we know this hasn't been the most joyful holiday season for Steelers fans. After a tough Christmas Day loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, the playoff road just got a whole lot bumpier. But hey, this team is built on resilience, and they're doing everything they can to improve and bring us the results we're all hoping for. Before we dive into today's heated discussion about playoff scenarios and whether it's time for a quarterback change, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. If you love the Steelers as much as we do, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Let's show the algorithm that Steelers Nation is the most passionate fan base in the NFL. All right, here's where we stand heading into Week 18. The Steelers are on a 3-game losing streak, sitting at 10-6, and they're no longer in control of their destiny in the AFC North. The Ravens beat the Texans, and now, to clinch the division, Pittsburgh needs 2 things to happen. 1. The Steelers must beat the Cincinnati Bengals at Acrisure Stadium. 2. The Cleveland Browns must defeat the Baltimore Ravens. If the Ravens win, they take the AFC North outright. If both the Steelers and Ravens lose, Baltimore still claims the division crown due to their better record. But here's where it gets even trickier. Depending on the outcomes of other games, the Steelers could finish anywhere from the number 3 seed in the AFC, if they win the division, to the number 7 seed, if they lose and other teams like Denver and Los Angeles win. That's a massive swing, Steelers Nation, and the stakes couldn't be higher. What's your confidence level heading into Week 18? Do you think the Steelers can rise to the occasion and deliver when it matters most? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, the quarterback situation. Russell Wilson was brought in this season to stabilize the offense, and early on, it seemed like he was doing just that. 3 weeks ago, after a solid performance against the Browns, people were even throwing his name into the MVP conversation. Fast forward to now, and the tune has completely changed. In the past 3 games, Wilson has thrown just 3 touchdowns against 2 interceptions and lost a critical fumble. Beyond the stats, it's his decision-making and inability to sustain drives that have cost the Steelers dearly. The offense isn't just struggling, it's stagnant. And in the NFL, a stagnant offense is a death sentence. Here's where the debate gets interesting. Justin Fields, who was benched in favor of Wilson earlier this season, is still very much in the picture. Fields has remained involved in certain packages and has shown flashes of the playmaking ability that made him a first-round pick. Steelers Nation, what do you think? Should the team give Fields another chance in Week 18? Or do you stick with Wilson and hope he can rediscover his form in time for the playoffs? Of course, Wilson isn't the only issue. Let's break down some of the other challenges this team is facing. 1. The offensive line. The O-line has struggled to protect Wilson and open up running lanes for Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. Against the Chiefs, Wilson was under constant pressure, and the ground game was inconsistent at best. 2. The running game. Speaking of the run game, the contrast between Harris and Warren has been glaring. While Harris has struggled to break big plays, Warren continues to look like the more explosive back. Should Warren take on a larger role heading into Week 18 and the playoffs? 3. Defensive woes. The once dominant Steelers defense has looked vulnerable in recent weeks. Injuries, missed assignments, and an inability to get off the field on 3rd down have all played a role. 4. Coaching. Let's not forget about the coaching staff. Both offensive coordinator Arthur Smith and defensive coordinator Terrell Austin have faced criticism for their game plans and in-game adjustments. Here's why the Steelers might consider turning back to Fields: athleticism and playmaking. Fields brings an element of unpredictability to the offense. His ability to extend plays and pick up yards with his legs could be the spark this team needs. Fresh energy. Sometimes a change at quarterback can re-energize a team. With so much on the line in Week 18, could Fields be the shot in the arm the Steelers need? Nothing to lose. If the offense continues to sputter under Wilson, the Steelers risk limping into the playoffs with no momentum. Giving Fields a shot might be a calculated risk worth taking. Let's not sugarcoat it. Losing to the Bengals in Week 18 would be a disaster. Not only would it mean missing out on the AFC North title, but it could also push the Steelers down to the 7th seed, setting up a brutal wild-card matchup on the road. On the flip side, a win, and some help from Cleveland, could secure the division and a home playoff game. The difference between hosting a playoff game and hitting the road as the lowest seed is massive. All right, let's talk about one of the few bright spots from the Steelers' 29-10 loss to the Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day, Jaylen Warren. Despite the team's struggles, Warren shined, rushing for 71 yards on just 11 carries, a stellar 6.5 yards per carry, and catching 5 passes for an additional 41 yards. This performance is even more impressive when you consider what Warren has battled through this season. Early injuries, a back issue compounded by knee and hamstring problems, slowed him down. But now, the third-year running back looks like he's hitting his stride. Warren himself summed it up. "Yeah, I do feel like I'm back to myself." Here's the thing, Steelers Nation. Warren hasn't just been good. He's been better than Najee Harris, at least statistically. In the first half against the Chiefs, Harris managed only 21 yards on 7 carries, a modest 3 yards per carry. Warren, meanwhile, racked up 71 yards on 8 carries, averaging a jaw-dropping 8.9 yards per carry. Despite Warren's hot hand, the Steelers pivoted back to Harris in the second half, a decision that has left many fans scratching their heads. You know, we had every intention of doing so, sticking with Warren. Whether you're talking about those guys or anyone else, the bottom line is when you're not operating the way that we are, nobody gets to do what it is they desire to do. We need to look at all of those things because, again, we're not going to continue to go through the same process and hope for a different result. What do you think, Steelers Nation? Should Warren have been given the reins for the entire game? Let us know in the comments. The Steelers have long touted Harris and Warren as a complementary 1-2 punch in the backfield. However, the snap counts and production tell a different story lately. Against the Chiefs, Warren played 67% of the offensive snaps, 40, compared to Harris's 28%, 17. And it's not just about playing time. Warren has been consistently more effective with his opportunities. This trend has fans and analysts alike wondering, has Warren earned the RB1 spot? Jaylen has been great for us. Obviously, he was kind of injured, dinged up early in the season. He's been great for us, making some big-time runs, catches, and all that. He does some special things. He's physical. He's tough to tackle. We're excited about Jaylen. He's going to be a big part of us turning this around. To be fair, it hasn't been all bad for Harris this season. But inconsistency has plagued him, and costly mistakes haven't helped his case. For instance, during the Week 15 loss to the Eagles, Harris fumbled a toss play that led to a turnover, though it was later credited to Wilson. Harris took full responsibility for the miscue, but moments like these have contributed to a growing perception that Warren might be the more reliable option. As the Steelers enter the final stretch of the regular season, it's clear that the run game will be crucial. With Russell Wilson struggling with turnovers and the team dropping 3 straight games, Pittsburgh needs to lean on its ground attack more than ever. If Warren continues to outshine Harris, it's hard to argue against him becoming the featured back. But the bigger question is whether the Steelers coaching staff is ready to make that call. Steelers Nation, what's your take? Do you think the team should stick with Harris as RB1, or has Warren earned the promotion? All right, it's time to hear from you, the heart and soul of this franchise. Here are some questions to get the conversation started. Should Russell Wilson remain the starting quarterback, or is it time to turn to Justin Fields? Do you think the Steelers have what it takes to beat the Bengals and make a playoff run? Who's to blame for the team's recent struggles? Players, coaches, or both? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this discussion going. Steelers Nation, the road to the playoffs is never easy, and this season has been no exception. But one thing is for sure. This team has the talent, the grit, and the fan base to make something special happen. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to see more content like this, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Let's rally together and show the world what Steelers Nation is all about. Thanks for watching, and as always, here we go, Steelers.